Most gardeners pack up their pots the moment summer fades, believing fall marks the end of color. But what if this season is your garden's quiet masterpiece? When others see fading mums and bare patios, you can fill yours with deep crimson leaves, soft golds, and textures that feel alive against crisp air. Fall light has its own kind of magic, softer, warmer, more forgiving, and it makes every shade look richer. Imagine stepping outside with a cup of coffee, seeing your containers still bursting with life while the world slows down. That's the beauty most people miss. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have 7 easy container plants that thrive in cool weather, plus 1 comfort trick that keeps your body moving with ease. And if you've ever felt like gardening was getting harder on your back or knees, this guide will help you rediscover the simple joy of growing. Smarter, not harder. Welcome to Golden Garden Days, a place where aging means refining your rhythm, not losing it. Here, we grow with intention, rest with pride, and find calm in every pot we plant. If that sounds like your kind of garden, give this video a like and join our growing circle of wise gardeners who know that beauty doesn't retire, it simply changes seasons. Now grab your gloves, breathe in that crisp autumn air, and let's begin building your most stunning fall container garden, one plant at a time. Plant 1. Fountain Grass, variety called Fireworks. Fountain grass, especially the variety called Fireworks, can completely transform your fall container garden into something that feels alive, graceful, and quietly powerful. The moment the wind brushes past, its arching plumes begin to sway, shimmering with a soft rhythm that brings movement to still autumn air. While other plants stiffen in the chill, this grass dances. It catches sunlight like fine silk, turning every breeze into a small performance, one that feels peaceful to watch with a morning cup of coffee or an evening tea on the porch. The Fireworks variety is named perfectly. It starts the season with long, narrow leaves of deep green streaked with bright pink, cream, and soft burgundy. As nights grow cooler, those colors intensify, greens turn golden, pinks shift to copper, and by late fall, the entire plant glows as if lit from within. It's not a sudden burst of color like flowers give, it's a slow burn, a natural fire that warms the space around it. One of the best things about fountain grass for older gardeners is its reliability and ease. It doesn't demand attention. Once planted, it grows steadily without fussing over water or fertilizer. It enjoys full sunlight, around 6 hours a day if possible, but tolerates partial sun too. The key is drainage. It loves well-drained soil and despises soggy roots. A simple lightweight potting mix is all it needs to stay happy. Choose a container at least 12 inches deep to give the roots room to stretch, and if you can, elevate it slightly with a pot stand to help air circulate underneath. If lifting heavy containers feels uncomfortable, place your pot on a rolling plant caddy. It's one of those small upgrades that make a huge difference. You can roll your fountain grass toward the sunlight during short fall days, move it away from rain, or wheel it to a protected corner before frost, all without bending or strain. Many senior gardeners call this their favorite garden helper because it keeps gardening accessible and comfortable, not tiring. Fountain grass also pairs beautifully with other fall favorites. Try surrounding it with Heuchera for rich foliage contrast, or let trailing plants like Creeping Jenny spill gently over the edge of the pot. That balance, tall, medium, and trailing, turns a simple container into a layered, professional-looking display. The grass adds height and grace, making every other plant seem more vibrant. By late autumn, when frost begins to kiss the mornings, the Fireworks variety still stands tall. The plumes dry into soft feathers that shimmer under low sunlight, catching tiny beads of dew. Many gardeners leave them in place all winter, finding comfort in their gentle presence against bare branches and gray skies. Come early spring, trim them back to about 4 inches and they'll return again, ready to sway through another season. This plant has a quiet wisdom about it, resilient, beautiful, and content with its rhythm. Watching it reminds you that slowing down doesn't mean stopping, it means savoring each season fully. Fountain grass Fireworks brings that same reminder to your garden: beauty that endures, motion that soothes, and a sense of peace that grows stronger with time. Plant 2, Heuchera, also known as Amber Waves. Heuchera, also known as Amber Waves, is a plant that quietly steals the spotlight without ever shouting for attention. It's not about big blooms or dramatic changes, It's about the steady glow of color that carries your garden through the chill of fall and the stillness of winter. Its leaves shimmer in shades of caramel, copper, and soft amber, like a collection of autumn sunlight that never quite fades. When every other plant begins to fade into brown, Heuchera holds its color proudly, offering warmth when the rest of the garden cools down. This plant is especially loved by older gardeners because it's beautiful without being demanding. It asks for almost nothing and gives so much in return. It thrives in partial sun or dappled shade, perfect for patios, covered porches, or corners that get morning light but stay cool in the afternoon. It doesn't need constant watering. In fact, it prefers to dry out slightly between drinks. The roots are shallow, which means you can grow it comfortably in smaller, lighter containers that are easy to move or raise on stands. For anyone dealing with limited strength or joint pain, that simplicity is gold. You get the reward of lush foliage without the heavy labor that often comes with gardening. The leaves of Amber Waves are truly something special. They start as soft golden apricot in early fall, then deepen into bronze and honey tones as the nights cool. The undersides often show a faint blush of pink, catching the light like velvet when you walk by. In containers, Heuchera works beautifully as the filler plant, the one that sits in the middle, balancing height and ground cover. It pairs effortlessly with taller plants like fountain grass or sedum, and looks even more elegant when surrounded by trailing vines such as ivy or creeping jenny. Together, they create texture and contrast that feels alive even when flowers are long gone. Heuchera is evergreen in many regions, which means it keeps its leaves through winter, adding color when the rest of the garden turns gray. Even after light frost, the foliage stays strong and crisp. You can lightly mulch the top of your container in colder climates for extra insulation, just a thin layer of bark or shredded leaves to protect the roots. Come spring, you'll only need to trim away the outer leaves to make room for new growth. There's no pruning, no fussing, no replanting, just consistency and quiet beauty. For those who enjoy sensory gardening, Heuchera brings a special kind of joy. The leaves have a soft, leathery texture and hold warmth from the afternoon sun, making them pleasant to touch. And because they don't wilt or droop easily, they always look fresh and well kept, even on days when you don't have the energy to tend to them. That's part of its magic. It meets you where you are. Think of Amber Waves as your set-it-and-smile plant. It adds richness to your space with minimal effort and rewards you with color through every season. When placed near walkways or seating areas, it glows at golden hour, that warm, late-day sunlight that makes everything feel calm and complete. It's a plant that mirrors what many gardeners discover with age, that real beauty doesn't fade quickly, it deepens, softens, and becomes something steady and true. In every leaf, Heuchera Amber Waves holds a quiet reminder that the best gardens and the best moments don't shout for attention. They simply last. Plant 3, Sedum, sometimes called Autumn Joy. Sedum, sometimes called Autumn Joy, is one of those plants that seem almost too good to be true, dependable, resilient, and quietly beautiful without asking for much. It's the plant that proves fall doesn't have to be about fading color or dying blooms. Instead, it becomes richer and more textured as the season unfolds. Its flower clusters start as pale green buds in late summer, then slowly blush into soft rose, deepening into warm rust and bronze as the nights cool. Every week brings a new tone, like a watercolor painting shifting with the light. By mid-autumn, your container glows with earthy elegance that perfectly matches the season's golden air. What makes Autumn Joy so loved by senior gardeners is its easygoing nature. It's one of the few plants that thrives on neglect. You can forget to water it, skip a feeding, or leave it in direct sun all day, and it still rewards you with structure and color. Its fleshy, succulent leaves store water like tiny reserves, making it ideal for those who prefer a slower, less demanding routine. It doesn't need rich soil either. In fact, it prefers a bit of dryness. Just give it a pot with good drainage and a lightweight mix. Even ordinary potting soil with a scoop of sand will do. Once it settles in, it stays strong through wind, cool nights, and the occasional frost. One of Sedum's most overlooked gifts is how long it stays beautiful. Many plants peak and fade, but Autumn Joy ages gracefully. When its blooms dry in late fall, they hold their shape like lacework. Leave them standing, and winter transforms them, Every frosty morning turns those seed heads into delicate sculptures, sparkling with tiny crystals of ice. It's a lovely sight from your window on a cold morning, the quiet reminder that even after bloom time, your garden still has life and purpose. Design-wise, Sedum brings calm balance to a container. It fills the middle space perfectly, taller than your trailing plants, shorter than your centerpiece. Try pairing it with cool-toned pansies or the copper hues of Heuchera for a soft, layered palette. The mix of textures, velvety leaves beside sturdy stems, creates that finished look that feels both natural and elegant. And if you enjoy helping pollinators, you'll notice bees and butterflies visiting those late-season flowers, grateful for the final sips of nectar before winter arrives. Maintenance couldn't be simpler. Just water deeply but rarely, and don't worry if the leaves look dusty, that's part of their natural protection. In early spring, trim the dried stems close to the base to make room for new growth, and that's it. No constant trimming, no spraying, no chasing perfection. Sedum does all the work quietly, at its own pace. It's the kind of plant that mirrors wisdom, steady, adaptable, beautiful without effort. It reminds you that the most rewarding things in the garden, and in life, are often the ones that don't rush. Autumn joy lives up to its name in every sense. Joy that lasts, beauty that endures, and peace that grows stronger with time. Before we move on, take a moment. Which of these three plants fits your fall mood best? Maybe you feel calm and steady like Sedum, bold and breezy like fountain grass, or bright and lively like Heuchera. Type the number that speaks to you most in the comments. And if you're finding these ideas inspiring, tap subscribe so you don't miss next week's gentle garden guide right here on Golden Garden Days. Plant 4, Pansy, the cool wave purple type. Pansies have a way of softening even the coldest morning. The cool wave purple variety, in particular, is like a splash of spring that refuses to leave when fall settles in. While most blooms start to fade as the nights turn crisp, these little faces keep smiling, pushing through frost and dew as if to remind you that joy doesn't wait for perfect weather. Their deep violet petals catch the morning light, creating that comforting pop of color every gardener craves when the landscape starts to fade into gray and brown. What makes the Cool Wave series special is its strength. These are not delicate, pampered plants. They are bred to thrive in tough conditions. When the temperature dips and other flowers bow out, these pansies keep blooming, often right through light frost. For gardeners who thought the colorful part of the year was over, this variety proves otherwise. It's one of the easiest ways to keep your containers lively and full, long after summer has said goodbye. They're also wonderfully easy to manage, a perfect fit for gardeners who prefer gentler routines. Their roots are shallow, which means you don't have to dig deep or bend too far. They grow beautifully in raised containers, window boxes, or hanging baskets where you can admire them without strain. Just make sure they have good drainage and at least a half day of sunlight. When watering, keep the soil lightly moist but not soaked. Too much water in cool weather can make the roots cold and unhappy. A simple rule of thumb: water when the top inch of soil feels dry. The Cool Wave purple pansy isn't just about color, it's about feeling. There's something incredibly uplifting about seeing those violet blooms on a chilly day, when the air feels sharp and still. Their faint, sweet fragrance drifts gently on the breeze, soft, nostalgic, almost like the scent of early spring. Place them near your entryway or along a path so you can catch that fragrance each time you step outside. It's a small joy, but one that brightens even the quietest mornings. For design, pansies make the perfect filler and spiller in your container arrangement. They tuck into small spaces and trail slightly over the edge, softening sharp lines and blending colors together. Pair them with the warm tones of Ornamental Kale or the bronze glow of Heuchera for a balanced autumn palette. The contrast of purple against gold or copper makes your containers look thoughtful and polished, even if all you did was tuck in a few plants between errands. And there's another bonus: pansies are edible. You can safely use the flowers as decoration on cakes, in salads, or floating on herbal tea. They add a cheerful touch to gatherings and remind us that the garden doesn't just please the eyes, it nourishes the spirit too. If you deadhead, that is, gently pinch off spent blooms, your pansies will reward you with even more flowers. It's a simple, satisfying task that takes seconds and keeps the plant blooming steadily for months. By late fall, when most plants are winding down, you'll still have these small, determined flowers shining through frost, proving that persistence can be beautiful. The cool wave purple pansy isn't just a flower, it's a quiet reminder of resilience. It's for anyone who's learned that joy often comes in small, consistent moments, the kind that keep showing up even in the cold. Whether you plant a few in pots by your door or fill an entire window box, they'll meet you every morning with color, warmth, and a smile that never fades. Plant 5. Ornamental Kale, known as Peacock Red. Ornamental kale, especially the striking variety known as Peacock Red, is one of fall's most dramatic gifts to gardeners. While most plants fade with the first frost, this one only grows bolder, richer, and more beautiful as the temperatures drop. Its wide, ruffled leaves unfurl like feathers dipped in watercolor, layers of soft pink, rose, deep violet, and creamy white blending together into a living tapestry. No two plants ever look exactly the same, which makes each one feel a little bit like nature's art. When sunlight hits those textured leaves on a crisp morning, it's hard not to pause and admire how much life still lingers in the garden long after summer's blooms are gone. The beauty of Peacock Red kale is more than just its color. It's about its resilience, a plant that doesn't just survive the cold, but thrives in it. Most flowers retreat when frost arrives, but kale embraces it. In fact, the chill makes its colors more intense. Each cold night deepens the purple tones and brightens the pinks until the plant glows as if lit from within. For gardeners who love watching the seasons unfold, it's a joy to see such transformation right outside your window. This kale is perfect for container gardens because it asks for so little. It's not fussy about soil, light, or feeding. Give it full sun for the best color, though it can handle light shade just fine. It prefers cooler weather, so it's happiest from early fall through winter. Use a standard potting mix with good drainage, nothing special, and water only when the top layer feels dry. Overwatering is one of the few ways to make this plant unhappy, so when in doubt, let it be. Because ornamental kale grows in wide rosettes, it makes a wonderful centerpiece in a fall container. Place it near the middle or slightly off-center to draw the eye, and surround it with softer, trailing plants like ivy or creeping jenny. The mix of textures, firm, structured kale leaves against delicate vines, creates an elegant, layered look that feels professional without much effort. If you want extra contrast, pair it with pansies or dusty miller. The cool purple of the kale against pale silver or bright yellow makes for a breathtaking combination. Beyond its looks, there's something deeply symbolic about this plant that resonates with older gardeners. As the season cools, Peacock Red doesn't fade, it becomes stronger, more vibrant, more alive. Its beauty doesn't rush or shout, it unfolds slowly, with confidence. It reminds us that aging isn't about losing color, it's about deepening it. The same garden that once burst with summer blooms now whispers its wisdom through textures and tones that last through frost. Ornamental kale also holds up beautifully through winter's first snow, standing firm and full even when the ground around it freezes. Its leaves can catch snowflakes or morning dew, creating stunning little moments of sparkle that make you smile each time you pass by. And when the holidays arrive, you can even add small lights or pine cones around the base of the container to transform it into a simple, natural decoration that feels festive but grounded. If you're looking for a plant that offers both visual impact and emotional depth, Peacock Red kale delivers both. It's proof that beauty can thrive in cold conditions and that the end of one season doesn't mean the end of color or joy. For gardeners who find comfort in slow changes and lasting strength, this plant says it perfectly. Even in the coldest months, life can still bloom with warmth. Plant 6. Dwarf Cypress, sometimes called Golden Mop. The dwarf cypress, often called Golden Mop, is the plant that quietly carries your garden through winter when everything else has surrendered to the cold. Its fine, thread-like needles glow like sunlight captured in plant form, a soft, golden-green hue that brightens even the dullest day. While flowers and foliage fade, this little evergreen keeps standing tall, offering color, shape, and life when your containers need it most. There's something deeply comforting about seeing that steady green presence on a frosty morning, a gentle reminder that even in the quiet seasons, growth continues. Golden Mop gets its name from its cascading, mop-like shape. Its branches spill softly over the edge of the pot, giving it a full, rounded form that adds movement without needing flowers. It's a slow grower, which makes it ideal for container gardening. You don't have to worry about pruning or trimming every few weeks. Its beauty comes naturally, in its soft curves and graceful flow. For seniors who prefer low-maintenance gardening, this plant is a dream. It asks for nothing more than a sunny spot and an occasional drink of water when the soil feels dry. Once settled, it's tough and resilient. Wind, frost, and even light snow don't bother it. What truly sets Golden Mop apart is the way it interacts with light. During early morning or late afternoon, when the sun sits low on the horizon, its needles catch the light and shimmer with a soft gold that feels almost magical. Even on cloudy days, it seems to hold a quiet glow of its own. This makes it a perfect anchor plant for your fall and winter containers, the one that keeps everything else grounded. While colorful plants bring excitement, the Golden Mop brings balance. Its constant brightness makes nearby plants, like pansies, Heuchera, or Ornamental Kale, look even richer by contrast. To grow it successfully, choose a medium to large container with good drainage and fill it with a mix of high-quality potting soil and a bit of compost. It prefers full sun but can handle light shade in the afternoon. Because it's an evergreen, it will continue photosynthesizing through winter, so try to water it occasionally even when temperatures drop, just enough to keep the roots from drying out completely. Avoid waterlogging in cold weather, as soggy soil can freeze and damage the roots. Golden Mop looks especially beautiful when paired with trailing plants that soften its edges. Try combining it with ivy or creeping jenny in a shared container for contrast. The bright gold needles against trailing green foliage create a composition that feels both alive and restful. Add a few pine cones, small stones, or even winter berries around the base to give the pot a seasonal touch that lasts from fall through the holidays. Beyond its appearance, there's something emotionally grounding about having a steady green companion in your garden through winter. It represents stability and quiet endurance, qualities many gardeners appreciate as they grow older. When the wind chills and the garden sleeps, Golden Mop remains, a symbol of continuity, of strength without noise. And the best part? This plant grows more beautiful with time. Its shape becomes fuller, its color deepens, and its resilience strengthens. Each year, it reminds you that not every season needs flowers to feel alive. Sometimes, all you need is a little color that stays, a quiet glow that greets you every morning, and a living piece of gold that brightens even the grayest winter day. Plant 7. Creeping Jenny, the golden variety called Aurea. Creeping Jenny, the golden variety called Aurea, is the final touch that gives your full container garden its glow. Where other plants stand tall or fill space, this one moves, cascading softly over the rim of your pot like sunlight flowing through your garden. Its trailing stems of chartreuse gold catch every flicker of afternoon light, turning even a simple container into something graceful and alive. It's the kind of plant that connects everything together. It doesn't demand the spotlight, yet somehow it makes every other color look richer. The cool purples, deep greens, and warm bronzes in your fall arrangement all seem to shine brighter when this cheerful ground cover joins in. What makes Aurea such a favorite among senior gardeners is its forgiving nature. It's beautiful, yes, but it's also dependable. You don't need to fuss or hover. Give it moist, well-drained soil, and it will reward you with a steady curtain of color all season long. It loves a bit of sunlight, especially morning or late afternoon sun, but it also adapts beautifully to partial shade, making it perfect for porches, patios, or north-facing gardens where light shifts through the day. Once established, it spreads easily, gently trailing over edges or filling bare patches of soil between larger plants. That easygoing habit makes it a natural choice for container gardening, where it softens edges and balances height. When you plant it, tuck a few small sections near the edge of your container, spacing them a few inches apart. Within weeks, they'll begin to weave and spill over, creating a lush, golden drape that looks effortless. Pair it with sturdy plants like Dwarf Cypress or Ornamental Kale for texture contrast, or with the bronze tones of Heuchera for a warm, glowing palette. The mix of gold and copper tones feels cozy, a perfect reflection of fall's quiet comfort. If you prefer cooler tones, it also looks stunning beside purple pansies or silvery dusty miller. Creeping Jenny isn't just lovely to look at, it's a mood lifter. There's something soothing about how it trails gently and sways in the breeze, especially in the soft light of late day. For gardeners who spend more time sitting and observing than bending or digging, it's one of those plants that brings motion and color to eye level. You can watch it change subtly with the seasons: brighter gold in full sun, softer lime in cooler shade. Even in winter, when frost touches the tips, it holds a warm hue that keeps your garden from ever looking dull. In terms of care, it couldn't be easier. Keep the soil lightly moist, not soggy, but never bone dry, and trim it back gently if it begins to overgrow the pot's edge. Those trimmings can even be replanted in another container. They root quickly and spread readily. If you live in colder regions, consider moving your pot to a sheltered area during deep freezes, or treat Creeping Jenny as an annual and enjoy its easy rebirth each spring. It's a flexible plant that fits around your rhythm rather than the other way around. More than anything, Aurea adds a feeling of connection between plants, colors, and moments. When light hits those golden strands at sunset, it ties everything in the garden together: the steady green of evergreens, the bold purple of pansies, the warmth of autumn leaves drifting nearby. It's as if this plant exists to remind us that beauty doesn't always stand upright. Sometimes, it gently reaches outward, linking everything it touches. In the same way, it links us to the simple joy of being present in our gardens, calm, steady, and quietly golden. Here's the quiet secret that makes fall gardening easier: place your containers on rolling plant caddies. This small, simple upgrade can completely change the way you move through your garden. Instead of bending, dragging, or asking for help, you can shift pots towards sunlight, roll them away from frost, or move them under shelter with one gentle push. It's effortless, practical, and body-friendly. For anyone who's ever felt hesitant to rearrange heavy containers, this tool brings independence back to gardening. Rolling caddies come in wood, metal, or durable plastic, often with lockable wheels to hold everything steady. Beyond comfort, they also help plants thrive. Raising containers off the ground improves airflow and keeps roots from staying damp. It prevents stains on patios and lets your garden breathe better through rain or cold spells. A small change, yes, but one that keeps both you and your plants healthy. For seniors, this little tool isn't about doing less, it's about doing smart. It allows you to work longer, rest easier, and enjoy your plants from new angles. You can roll a container closer to trim, turn it to catch light, or bring it near your chair while you sit with a warm drink. Gardening becomes less about endurance and more about ease. And that's the point: to keep doing what you love with confidence, safety, and joy. Each of these 7 plants adds its own gift: motion, texture, strength, or calm. Together, they outlast mums and bring your containers to life long after summer fades. The garden doesn't stop growing in fall, it simply shifts its rhythm. Cooler air deepens color, softer light reveals new texture, and the slower pace makes every moment more meaningful. Standing among these plants, you'll notice something subtle: fall isn't an ending at all. It's a beginning with quieter energy and deeper roots. Your containers become a reflection of that idea: beauty that holds steady, color that grows richer, and life that keeps going even in the cold. With small adjustments and the right plants, your garden stays full of presence, peaceful, alive, and unmistakably yours. If this guide added a bit of warmth to your day, like and subscribe to Golden Garden Days for weekly tips made for gardeners who grow with heart and wisdom. Tell us in the comments which of these 7 plants you're most excited to try this season. Your ideas always inspire someone new to start. And when you step outside to look at your garden, take a breath and notice the quiet beauty that remains. Gardening isn't about chasing perfection, it's about connection. Every pot, every leaf, every moment spent caring is part of your story. Keep your hands in the soil, your heart in the garden, and your days golden.